Alice in Wonderland, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I just say Alice in Wonderland to refer to it because it's easier. And that has been such a part of my life. Again, like I said, I made it a permanent part of my body. But the thing that we don't realize is Alice was kind of the first in a subgenre of girls in blue dresses. So let me set this up. A girl wearing a blue dress is living a pretty dull life when suddenly she absconds into this wonderful fantasy world, which eerily has some connections to her real life. She goes on adventures, grows, finds more of herself, and at the end wakes up or is transported back to her real life, finding that it was a dream or not believed, and ultimately learns more about herself. Now, this is Alice in Wonderland, but it also relates to two other stories from the era. Can you guess what that are? Both of them were novels that were turned into well-known movies. The others being, of course, The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy Gale, and Peter Pan and Wendy. Dorothy and Wendy also being girls in a blue dress who go to a fantasy world. So while Alice is, of course, my favorite, girls in blue dresses, I think, really represents that idea of going somewhere. And before Alice, I was actually a Wizard of Oz fan. I had a poster. I was Dorothy for a couple of years in Halloween, so never really had a Peter Pan Wendy interest. However, fun fact, did you know the actress who voices Alice in the 1951 Alice in Wonderland, Catherine Beaumont, is the same actress who voices Wendy in the Disney version of Peter Pan. So really, Alice and Wendy, not only in terms of storyline are the same, but in terms of voice actress are actually the same person. So there is that connection. Catherine Beaumont, love her. But yeah, there's this idea of like a girl going to this fantasy world, and I've often been asked why I like Alice as much as I do, why I'm so obsessed with it, and I don't know. I mean, I loved the movie first because, you know, as a little kid I wasn't reading 1800s children's literature. I love visuals. I love movies that are visual. They're like, honestly, I love world building. I love visuals and world building. I will like read a book, and then once the plot like starts to get crazy, I start reading it because I love the first part of a book where they set up the world and it's beautiful. And then the plot comes and I get anxious and stressed about what's going to happen, and then the characters are dealing with all their personal shit, and then it goes off there. But I love setting up a world and just exploring it, seeing how it works, the history in it all. And I think that's why I love Alice in Wonderland, because that movie and book, there's not much of a plot. Like, it's not even I want to go home. Like, The Wizard of Oz kind of does have a concrete plot. Dorothy's trying to get home, and a bunch of crazy shit happens on top of it, meaning the Scarecrow and the Lion and the Tin Man, but there is a goal. Alice isn't even trying to get home. Like, you read that book, and she's just kind of going with the flow. Like, she wakes up, but she's never like, I have to get home. She just goes from one place to another and grows this world, this land that she is a part of. It is pure world building with minimal plot, but that doesn't mean it's devoid of meaning. And to me, that's what's beautiful. It's that it is this aimless journey that still has depth. And again, I could go on for so long to talk about it, but I won't. But it's crazy. Like, this world and this depth is insane. And I love that because, you know, the one, I love reading into it. Two, I love world building. And three, just the idea of going somewhere, because it's not just the going somewhere, but it's the fact that they come back and learn. Alice going to Wonderland learns about growing up. Dorothy going to Oz learns about appreciating home. Wendy going to Neverland learns about the power of growing up. All of these girls in blue dresses, they're not meant to stay in these worlds. Alice can't stay in Wonderland forever. She's not meant to be there. Dorothy and Wendy the same. None of these lands are meant to be permanent. They are meant to be temporary learning lessons that these girls then come back to these worlds and are better for it. And maybe I like that idea. I think it's kind of the similar a lot of kids think about getting their Hogwarts letter, but to me it's even less. It's like if Harry went to Hogwarts and then after he graduated was never a wizard again, but he learned a lesson about family. Like, these are so temporary, and it makes me wonder what my Wonderland will be, because each of these worlds represent what these girls need. Wendy feels like she's older than her brothers, feels like an adult among children, so she goes to a land where everyone's a child and truly understands, and the adults are crazy, Captain Hook, and then she learns how to be a child, but also a child that's growing older. Dorothy wants to leave Kansas. She's bored, so she goes to this other land and realizes that home is really where her heart was. And Alice, you know, she is so bored with her lessons, and she doesn't want to be, like, she likes to be a kid, but she goes to this world that has crazy logic and just realizes more of who she is, and being a kid is awesome and okay. And you know, each of these worlds are tailored to the girl, so I wonder if I were to go in a tornado or fly away or fall down a hole, what would my land be? Like, what is my center issue that it would cater to? Because all these cater to certain worlds, and that's what I really wonder about when I wonder about Wonderland, and I just love it. Wonderland is so beautiful to me, and I will never get sick of it, never get tired of it. If I ever have a daughter, I'd love to name her Alice. I'm already thinking about getting a second tattoo, and it will be Alice in Wonderland. Like, I got one for the movie. I'd love for my second one to be based off of the original illustrations by John Tenniel, who did the illustrations for the original manuscript of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I would love to get one for that, so I'm representing the movie and the book, because both of which I'm a great fan of. But yeah, so that is why I named my channel Girls in Blue Dresses, or Girl in a Blue Dress, because I feel like, you know, sometimes we all want to be that girl in a blue dress who's swept away to a different land. And when I'm in those dark moods, like I was earlier today or wherever, okay, I'm sorry, sometimes I think about those other worlds, the ones I create for myself and such, and now that I'm tinted in this blue light, I thought I'd talk more about it. Talk about something I'm passionate and happy about, since so many of my videos, by so many I mean 3, have been about things that make me sad and depressed. So I wanted to just put out there that I'm not all that I do have things that make me happy and inspired, and hopefully I can talk more about that. And now that I'm going to go to school for children's literature, and Alice in Wonderland being children's literature, albeit children's literature, that I can continue with this, and it can be beautiful. So, yeah, that's it. May you all find your own Wonderland.